All right, hello. So I'm Coach Thumper, and we're gonna do a short-ish VOD review of Soaring Crows. So I've done a VOD review for this team once already, um, and it's been a few weeks, and they've come back with another video. This one is on Kings Row. I believe the last one was on Busan. They've also increased their scrim difficulty by a few hundred SR, I think. So I think this is sitting around 3,800 now rather than 3,500. Good for them. And we are going to be doing a quick VOD review. The team we're going to be VOD reviewing is Team 2. They are going to be the red team over here. This is the scrim preset, so I can see the stats, which is cool. More information is always welcome, even if the information is not always pertinent. So I will say both of these team compositions are interesting. So right now we're in that Sombra Reaper Rushdown meta. Now, I don't personally think that meta is particularly overwhelmingly strong. Like, it's not GOATS or Season 7 Dive or, Double Shield or the other Double Shield or something that, like, if you don't play that, you play anything else against it, it feels like you're not even playing the game. I don't feel like it's that strong of a meta. It's a strong meta, but it's not that strong. That being said, both teams' compositions are very poor. The other team's compositions is poor for pretty obvious reasons. These four are poke, these two are brawl, right? So these are brawl tanks, essentially, especially this Reinhardt, but when you pair a D.Va with the Reinhardt, that's a brawl tank composition. And this is straight poke. I mean, just absolutely straight poke. So I understand that completely. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you took this composition from the OWL Grand Final playoffs, because this is basically what they were playing. I think that was just an Ashe instead of a Hanzo, or maybe this was an Ashe. I'm not entirely sure. But that was played on the Gigahawk patch. They were like 2 full patches behind the main live server. So it's not the same. It's not even close to the same, actually. With that being said, your composition actually isn't that bad. The main difficulty of your composition is the vulnerability of your tanks. So if, like, you don't know what they're coming out on, what the other team's coming out on. Now, it turns out that their composition actually helps you out a lot, but you don't know what they're coming out on. And so if they were coming, just one change, by the way. All that would need to change here is this is a Lucio. And you have and they have the better team comp over yours, because all they need to do is go, oh, they have a Sig and a road, and as soon as that road's not literally right next to that Sig, or as soon as, like, there's nothing protecting this Zenyatta directly, they just speed their tank line onto anybody. This one, no grapple. This one. I mean, it doesn't really matter, and your team is super vulnerable. Okay, on a map like Junkertown, that they're not door holding on. I mean, it's a little bit more viable, but you're playing Kings Row. It's like the brawl map. So this is kind of problematic as far as a composition's concerned. But you could play it really well. It's not like it's going to, like, automatically fail. It's just that there's much better compositions. But we'll let it play out. Okay. I'll just let it play for a minute. It seems like we don't have a plan right now. I like this Roadhog plan. With that being said, though, your Mercy can't be on your tanks. So this can't be a thing. Your Mercy cannot be on your tanks. Your Mercy has to be on your Hanzo. It's wasted on your tanks. It's completely wasted on your tanks. There's no reason for this. And it diminishes the value of a Mercy by a really, really heavy degree. Let me turn this on real quick. Okay. Couple things about the plan here. Now that you have a plan, I like your Hogs plan. Your Hogs plan is really solid. Let's get upstairs and pressure the high ground because we have no mobility. So let's get around and make sure they can't just poke us down. Solid plan from your Hog. Really like your Hog. Okay. Now, here's the thing about your Sigma, though. I don't know what he's doing. Because he's just randomly kind of throwing shields out to block damage that doesn't really matter that's coming in the first place. And he's kind of following your hog. Well, he can't follow your hog. That's going to be a bad position for him. He kind of either has to play this corner or he has to play in hotel back here. Because he has to pressure the space behind hotel. Because think about it. What is Hog going to eventually push them off of? The high ground. Where are they going to be? The back of the hotel. So you have to think ahead just a tiny bit and do something. The other thing is Hanzo or someone has to go with this hog. You can't just let your hog go alone here. So Hanzo or Zenyatta, or maybe not Zenyatta, but Hanzo or somebody, probably Hanzo, and the Mercy has to kind of all go with them, so the 3 can go this way. Your Widow can just set up here or where your Hanzo is and kind of take lines of sight, and then your Sig and your Zen can kind of play this area and pressure down. And you'll notice what I'm doing if I do a top-down view. Whoops, sorry. If I do a top-down view, what I'm doing is I'm creating what I call the U, but what a lot of other people just call like good positioning or surrounding people. Okay, so you want them to fight here. Okay, this is where you want them to fight. You don't. This is a brawl position. You don't want them poking from the high ground, right? You don't want this. Okay, so that's where you want them. Okay, so because that's where you want them, you're sending a hog and hopefully 3 others here. Okay, that's one angle of pressure that can turn into a second angle of pressure, but that's essentially one angle of pressure, right? That little area right there. Great. Okay, now you have the Widowmaker creating a second angle of pressure. Okay, this is the second angle of pressure. Great. Okay, where can they hide from those 2 angles of pressure? In here or back up and into here. If they back up into here, they're basically giving us points. So they almost have to be here. So where do you send your Zenyatta and your Sigma? You send them in this area so that they have this line of pressure. Okay? In which case, where's the only place that they can move where they're not moving directly into a line of pressure? Backwards. Okay? This is what we're doing. This is exactly what we're doing. Okay? So I'm going to let it play, but that should be your game plan. So your Sigma's out of position. And see what would happen. Look at what you're doing right now. See what would happen if there was a Lucio instead of a Zenyatta. Like, literally, it could be just your Lucio and your Ryan. These 2 are dead. Well, at least this one. He might grapple up here or something. But your Zen's dead. I mean, absolutely 100% dead. And even if they don't have a Lucio, this D.Va's doing completely bad. Okay, this D.Va shouldn't be over here. This D.Va should go, oh, both tanks and the Mercy are up here. There's a Zenyatta in the back with only that's a free kill for a D.Va. That's absolutely a free kill. So their D.Va's, it's kind of their D.Va's bad, not really your good. So good rotation, good understanding of that, and good pick, and good second pick. But the thing is, your Sig really, there's no reason for your Sig to be up here like this. I mean, it's fine and all, but like, see, your Sig didn't really do anything throughout that entire process. And just to, sorry about that. So your Sig didn't really do anything during that process. And just to kind of drive home that your Sig didn't do anything out through that entire process, he's taken 4 times more damage, or 3 times more damage than he's done. Now your Hog has 2, but your Hog is the pressure there. He's threatening the kill there, and he's kind of body blocking for this guy right here. But see how like your Zen didn't do anything either? Hence why he's at 23% and 28% alt charge. Like, we just didn't do much here. We're behind alt charge greatly from the other off tank and the other support. Okay, this is really the problem of the positioning that you had, is you needed to create that second line of that angle so that it wasn't super obvious. They're gonna contest that? There's no way. Yeah, no, they shouldn't contest that. So this is what happens, by the way. This is what happens when you have, first of all, I don't know what their D.Va's doing. Second of all, this is what happens when you have a completely immobile brawl tank with literally 4 poke high ground characters. Okay, it's gonna look clunky. It's gonna look bad. Okay, your Zen already needs to be on point. Your Mercy cannot be the one on point here. There we go. We switched. Okay, so here's where you're going to start running into problems. So first point's a little more conducive to the poke composition you're running. Here's where you're going to run into problems. This is the second point. Ryan is going to dominate on the second point because there's not as many far lines of sight, there's not as much high ground, and there's not as much potential for like getting behind him. So this is going to be problematic now. Now, luckily, their healers are not conducive to Brawl in the slightest. They're literally the poke combo healers. But it's okay. Okay, I'm going to let you watch the last 10 seconds or so. So let's go back to like 138 real quick. Yeah, like right here or so. Like something around here. I'm going to let you watch this. What are we doing? Man. Like, 130, I mean, it's 10 seconds. 12. We got a pick on the right side, but it gets traded. 15. It gets rezzed. We randomly throw a dragon. We're just not doing anything. We're just waiting for the cart, right? Like, that's our entire plan here, is to wait for the cart, I guess? Like, we're just not doing much, right? And as a team, and really as individual players, but as a team, you kind of always have to have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, you need to make one, right? And the plan cannot be just to sit on cart. That cannot be a plan, okay? Because if you do that, you're going to lose, okay? That cannot be a plan. So you got to do something different. And this D.Va's feeding again. That D.Va, dude. Okay, she got. But again, like, this is what I'm saying. The Rhine is going to dominate here. Except he kept swinging. Got it anyway. That D.Va needs help. But so we didn't have a plan there. That had nothing to do with composition. That had nothing to do with playstyle. That had nothing to do with positioning. That had to do with, we didn't change any of those things I just said because we just stood around. There was no plan. We did nothing there. Good pick. Yeah, but there's no res. I mean, there's a res available, sorry. So again, what's our plan? Like, what are we doing? Like, we seem slow. We're not ever controlling the engagement. We're relying on our DPS to get picks, and really our hog to get picks, and everyone else is kind of just existing. Right? Okay, so we do this. No one's moving in on it, though. And we have ults now coming in. So we trade 2 good ultimates, and now our hog's in a low... Like, do you see what's happening? Your Sig ulted. Nobody pushed on it. We pulled ults out of them, and we just traded ultimates, right? Then, they started pushing, and our hog solo ulted. No one was pushing with him. Do you see what's happening? Now, they're out of position because they've completely come around this corner, and that's why you get this pickup right here. But again, that's kind of their bad, not your good. You need to scrim higher teams in this, by the way. But, like, this is the overall problem we're facing right now, is... See how you one by one are going in and doing whatever you want to do? That's a good kite. And we get the pick on the D.Va as well. That D.Va is having a bad half so far. I don't know if that's like normal for her. She's having a particularly bad half because she doesn't know what to do. Okay, she switched Zarya. That should actually help a lot. If that Zen goes Anna, it'll help a ton. Yep. That's what I was expecting. I've never seen this game before, by the way. I would be expecting a Reaper to change from the Hanzo as well here in a minute. So let's just look at why you're winning, okay? Let's look at like the basis of why you're winning, okay? So let's look at sheer numbers, and this is really why you need to not look at sheer numbers. But let's look at sheer numbers, okay? 3K, 3,200, 200 damage disparity right here. 20. There's the 200 disparity right there. So your main tank, your quote unquote main tank, is the disparity between how much damage is done and how much damage is taken between your tanks right now. Okay. Your Zarya is sitting on 1629 and your Roadhog's 1366, but he's taken 5,000 damage. Okay. So here's the reason why this 5,000 damage is really important. Who's doing the 5,000 damage? Well, mostly the Widowmaker. If their Widowmaker is doing mostly damage on your Roadhog, she's just trying to ult feed. She's not actually getting anything done. So this is a problem for Callie on the other team, is because she's really just ult feeding here, and even to a certain extent the Hanzo is too. They're not really getting picks. They're just kind of ult feeding. That's not a good idea to have. And then there's a disparity between the Hanzos, and then your Mercy's way out healing everybody, and so on and so forth, right? So really, their DPS are like alt feeding, and your DPS are actually trying to get picks and like do stuff. But you should be rolling this team hard, and I mean you are, but it's sloppy and it's slow. And this does not look like a Masters game. This looks like, I mean, in all honesty, it looks like, I don't know, low diamond, because you're kind of alting sort of appropriately. It's not like you're throwing 6 of them at once, which is good. That, you know, you're kind of playing like a team. You know, you're kind of target focusing, but there's no part of the problem is there's no teamwork involved with this composition. It's literally you stay alive and you keep other people alive. These 4 get picks, and that's it. That's the whole composition. And if you get a rush down on this map, you're not staying alive long enough to get picks. It's not going to work. Oh, okay. Your Roadhog there has to realize that he's in trouble faster than that. So he got put to half and purpled, and he just kind of stood there for a really long time. And all Callie did, by the way, was SMG him. She didn't even like headshot him or anything. So we got to be really aware of that. Wow, he missed a charge on a non-moving target. That's fun. Yeah, that Zarya is having a bad day. Lexus on the other team needs to use that ult and then switch to Reaper. Whoa! Don't stand in the ult, then. Like, what are we doing? Like, I understand we're regrouping, but like this looks the same as what we're always doing. I don't want to harp on it too harshly, but it's not like we're doing anything. Okay, so we're Valkyring. We're using Valkyrie, right? And we get a res off. Great. What are we doing? Like, why did we not collapse down on this Zarya? Like, this Zarya was here. You have any idea how bad of a position that is? Our Hog's coming this way. We have 2 snipers and a newly rezzed one looking this way with a SIG in front of them. Like, this Zarya should be dead before she can turn the corner. Or she should be so close to death that when she turns the corner, our Roadhog can whiff the shot and still kill her from the speed of the bullets whizzing by. Like, it's not good. Like, this is a target focus problem, and this is really what I've been getting at is this composition doesn't have any. You're not learning anything like as a team with this. I mean, you can roll over teams that have less mechanical skill than you with this composition, sure. But there's a lot of teams that have a higher mechanical skill than you, and there's a lot of teams that know how to counterpick. This team clearly does not know how to counterpick. I mean, look at what they're running versus what you're running. I mean, this Ryan Zarya is finally decent. There was actually nothing wrong with the D.Va, but one of these snipers needs to switch to a Reaper or a Sombra right now. And this Mercy should have been a Lucio an hour ago, and they finally switched to an Ana. Like, if they switch to any kind of brawl, anything, they don't even need the Lucio and the Reaper Sombra. They just need one of them, and they're gonna roll you if they start walking. The other team, they're just not playing the game. The other team's not. We also need to learn when to off angle. So let me go back. And this is one of the very few examples that I'm going to be able to get on King's Row for this, but I will do my best. Okay, so their team essentially controls this space, right? They like, very broad sense. They control this space, right? It's going to be hard for you to turn this corner. Your team, very broad sense, controls this space. Okay, so your Roadhog pushes this angle. Okay, now here's the issue. You cannot, as this Roadhog, look at your healers. You cannot push beyond this corner to such a degree where it takes you longer to get this way than it does to actually touch the edge of this. Okay, so you really, realistically speaking, this Roadhog cannot probably pass this line in that room. Okay, if he passes this line, he's probably dead. Okay, realistically speaking, actually, I'll leave that line up for you. Realistically speaking, if he passes this line, he's realistically dead. Because if he passes this line, his take a breather is not going to be enough if they actually focus him. Okay, if they actually focus him, right? So we get that pick, great. He goes around the other way. This Zarya should be dead. So he he actually doesn't even push the off angle. He pushes the main angle and then rips off the off angle. So he loses the surprise of the off angle and then just gets in a position where he just is out of position, okay? And this is really the problem. So instead of even pushing the off angle and pushing it too far, which is what I thought he did, he actually pushes the main angle and then tries to go on off angle. So he loses all the surprise of the main angle while also pushing too far. So that's really problematic. And at the same time, your Sig's too far. Now, luckily, this Reinhardt bashes him backwards, but this is too far. I mean, you're not even on the right side of the cart. Like, this is clearly the wrong side of the cart, right? Like, we need to be on this side of the cart so that we have the cover of the cart from this angle, right? This side doesn't do us any favors at all, right? So we clearly need to be on the other side of the cart. No. Okay, decent pickup since we lost our hog due to like a weird flanky thing. But now we're shooting this angle, dude. Your main tank, you gotta come back out. Like we have no protection from anything here. Your Hanzo's like desperate for something here, right? We need something. Also, eventually the Zen has to ult. Everyone in the game has ulted at least once. Most of them has actually ulted twice. And our Zenyatta is still sitting on Transcendence. We have to trans at some point in time, okay? At the very least, trans when we need to push, okay? If you're not going to counter ults with it, because, like, here's the thing. You've actually already let it go. Because at this point, you might as well just wait for Grav Dragon. But, like, you needed to trans a good, like, 30 seconds ago, and your team needed to push with the trans, try to get a kill or two during that trans, so you take space, because at a certain point, you need to use that trans. See, those two deaths are actually on your Sigma. Now, would they have died anyway? I don't know, but it's on your Sigma. And your Sig dies late, too. Like, out of position stuff like that's just not going to work. Like, your tanks aren't DPS, and we're treating them like DPS. This is the problem with your composition, okay? And it becomes more and more obvious. The third point of all hybrids, the third point of every hybrid, and King's Row is a hybrid, is like this. There's almost no off angles, and if there are, it's like one. And it's all, like, straight up, and they're all shaped like that. Like, all of them. Like, think about it, right? All of them are shaped like that in some shape or form, right? King's Row, shaped like this. What's the other one? Eichenwald. It's shaped exactly like this, right? The door comes down, you go forward, it comes down, you go in, the throne's right here, right? Eichenwald, same thing. What's another hybrid? Off the top of my head. I'm blanking. Eichenwald. Oh, Numbani. Numbani's the same thing, it's just turned sideways. So Numbani's the same thing. It's kind of it's a little bit of a curve to it, right? But Numbani, it's like it goes like this, comes this way, and then comes this way, right? It's the same thing. I guess this is reversed. It's not this way. It's this way. Whatever. It's the same shape over and over and over again. Every point, a third point of a hybrid is the same. Okay. And when you have general poke comps like this, it doesn't work because this is what you're running. You're running 5 damage. That's supposed to be a D. You're running 5 damage and 1 mercy. This is what your team is running so far. Your Zen hasn't transed. Your Hog and your Sigma are consistently trying to off angle. You're not running tanks right now. You're not even running a healer. You're running 5 damage and a mercy. You're not going to win like this. Not against good teams. Against this team, you might. But not against good teams. You got to play better than that. You've got to use your tanks to actually play tank. Okay? I really, really don't like the way you're playing this composition. And it's kind of appalling that it's working even in the slightest. So your Hog immediately takes this off angle, which, don't get me wrong, I don't mind your Hog being here because he's not effective on this angle other than to shield pressure. I don't mind your Hog being here to exert pressure. Here's the thing though, he can't go on these like, I'm over here now, let me get a pick and then I'm going to die for it. He cannot be doing that. He has to exert a consistent pressure without dying. Okay, it's time to switch off the Widow Duel. Okay, we finally got the trans out. And Sig takes the high ground with his ult, but he's like alone on the high ground. Like, you see how many different fights you're having? Like, I didn't even know your Sig was up there because I was following a different fight with my eyes. Like, your Sig ulted, he's on high ground. This is fight number 1. Okay, then we have your hog was fighting a fight number 2 over here on an off angle. Then you have fight number 3 that's happening with the trans and the dragon and crap over here. And then you have a Widowmaker fight over here, number 4. Okay, this is not team Overwatch. This is not Masters Overwatch. This is bordering on Plat Overwatch. Okay, this is what we need to fix. Careful, Zen, of your positioning, by the way. This is kind of a minor thing. I doubt you even get punished for it. But there's 2 snipers on high ground, and you're standing literally in the middle of nowhere. You have to either stand under them or consistently use your natural cover, because you're not getting any artificial cover. So this is a problem. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if you do get picked. This is a problem. This Hanzo's missing his shots. If that Hanzo wasn't missing his shots, this would be different. Oh, yeah, you get picked for it. And the Mercy gets picked for a res. Okay. So here's what I'll say about Mercy, Funjin, is, like, I think the #1 mistake Mercy players make is not realizing that res can happen any time within like 6, 7, 8 seconds, right? Like, it does not have to happen within 3 seconds. I see so many Mercies going, oh my god, he's dead, we need him. Not at the cost of your life, okay? So reses need to be, like, the only time you need to res at the cost of your life is if you know for a fact you res that person, you win the fight. If they have their ult and their ult is the win condition. For example, if you have Grav Dragon and your Hanzo dies early in the fight and you know you're going to die for this res, but you think you need that res off, fine, get the res off, I don't care. But if, you know, it's just a sig on high ground that, you know, there's a bunch of stuff going for it. I mean, you got both snipers, sure, but, like, can you actually win this fight? I don't think so. You're down both healers and your Hanzo. This is not a winnable fight. And yeah, okay, you weren't down these before you res. I understand that, but at a certain point, like, we gotta be really smart with our. We gotta be really smart with this. They expend nano on that. Oh, that's bad. They should not expend nano on that. They're gonna stagger the tanks for it. Say Nora, you gotta get down there. No, you're not getting out. Yeah, you gotta drop off. It's a stagger. Okay, we're gonna switch to a Zarya, or a D.Va, and a Reinhardt, and a Moira. I hope one of these snipers is gonna switch. And a Lucio. I really hope one of these snipers is gonna switch. Wow, you're not gonna switch either one of the snipers. Wow, okay, so you're gonna roll them now because you have a Lucio Moira, and they have poke comps with, like, you just have the better brawl comp now. Because you have arguably 5. The Hanzo can be considered brawl. So you have arguably 5 brawl characters, and they have 3 basically. So you're probably gonna win this fight, but be careful. I mean, if you're gonna make the switch, full send the switch. Switch your Widowmaker to a Reaper. You know, if you're gonna commit, right? Don't just like half commit. Especially when your Widowmaker's kind of been trading the kills or even like losing the 1v1 more often than she wins it. Okay, we need to go back a little bit. Okay. Okay, so your Zarya... Okay, we need to go back even further. So here's my first look at you guys actually playing a team-based team composition. Okay, this is my very first look. Where's your D.Va? Am I blind? Hello? D.Va? Hello? Does anyone see the D.Va? There she is. Okay. What the? I'm not blind. What the heck? Okay. So there's the D.Va. So I want to point something out. Here's your D.Va. Solo diving. A pocketed Hanzo. Is the Widowmaker up there too? No. She's down there. Here's your D.Va going after a pocketed Hanzo alone with your snipers so far back, they're not even sure that there is a cart yet. This is a problem. Also, Funjin, positioning. Lucio, be on that wall. Right? You know they have snipers. Don't give them these angles. This is how you make mistakes. Right? Don't give them those angles. Look at where Squid is. Go where Squid is. Hug your natural covers. As a team in general, you guys need to hug your natural covers more. But this is a problem. You're basically guaranteeing your fights. Your team's gonna start a fight without mech. You're guaranteeing it. It's over already, right? And we actually start the fight with half shield on our Reinhardt too. So we lose mech. We go in. Our snipers are still so far back they don't even know if they're playing payload, right? So we're down mech, we're down shield. Our Reinhardt is surrounded on cart. Our Lucio's up on a wall. He's actually trying to help. Our Moira's trying not to get picked. She's trying to help too. And our snipers are so far back. This is why you don't play double sniper into this kind of composition, okay? Like one, all right, fine. And I really don't care which one, by the way. One, fine, whatever. But you need to have a Reaper or some kind of Brawl DPS. It doesn't even need to be Reaper. Just any Brawl DPS, and you'll be okay. But, like, you need to play together here. Look how spread you are. Like, look at this is ridiculous. Like, you're playing a better comp than them, but you're playing it so poorly that it's hard to even tell what style of play you want. And then we get double stunned out of it, and that's going to be a loss. And the Lucio gets picked up because was like on a wall or something, or probably because the D.Va wasn't alive. And then that gets picked up, and then that gets picked up, and your Hanzo doesn't realize it's being lost early enough, and that gets down too, right? We're just not playing like a team. It's so individualistic. You got to play like a team. I think I'm going to only do the attack. Okay, we made mass switches. Okay, we switched to both a Mei and a Soldier. Okay, good switches. Soldiers can still pressure high ground while also, like, still pressure like snipers while also helping with shield break and a lot of brawl stuff. And then the Mei is a really difficult thing to do. And it is going to get this Reinhardt. Yeah. Oh, you got to eat that, though. Okay, okay. So this is part of planning. And by the way, it's actually not asking a lot, I promise, for D.Va to see this coming. Part of your planning as a team, you just go, the first thing you go is, we have these ults, they have these ults. Make a plan, but part of that plan is, what do we have to counter those ults? We know they have Grab Dragon, we know it, right? We know that's probably their win condition. We know it. And as soon as they grab, you need to go, where's the Hanzo? You need to stop whatever you're doing, go, where's the Hanzo, and run at him with DM. That's your job at that point. That's it. That's your entire job. Okay? You need to know that. You need to play disciplined and play well. Because even if they don't have grab combo, you still lose this fight. Because look where your D.Va is, and look where the rest of your team is. Why are you here? There's no point to this. You're an off tank. You are not main tanks. You don't have a shield. You're gonna lose mech again. Right? It's so separate.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, that's gonna be the half. Okay. So here's the... I want to see what you're gonna. If you come out on the split comp, I'm not. Yeah, okay. So you do come out on the split comp, right? Okay. So you come out on the split comp. So we're gonna call that a VOD review then, because it's the split comp is not a team composition, so it's hard to do a team VOD for it. Does that make sense? So it's not a team comp. It's an individual comp. I could go to, like, just for example, I could go to Fungens or Squid Hats or Nyx or Senor or Welsh or Riptide individually and say, I'm going to make this an individual VOD review and go, you're at a position here, you missed your cooldowns here, you missed your opportunity here, you need to flank here. I could do that individually, and it would slowly raise the level of the composition because you would start making individual plays. But that's all this composition is individual plays. And to prove that all is individual plays, name 2 ultimates that you would combo in this composition. There aren't any. There isn't any. The best combo you have is Gravitic Flux into a dragon. And that's not even a very good one. I mean, it's okay, but it's not great. There's nothing to, like, trans is to counter. The Valk is kind of just a Valk, right? It's not really much else. You have sights where there's nothing really to do there. Like, Dragon kind of goes with the Gravitic, but it's also kind of a waste, right? Gravitic, there's nothing else to do with Gravitic. There's nothing else to do with Hogalt. In fact, Hogalt's kind of a liability because you don't have enough healing or survivability or natural or artificial cover to actually keep a Hog alive during Hogalt. During whole hog, right? It's really problematic. So this is something we kind of need to keep constant track of, right? Is the ults in this composition are really poor. Okay. So as a team though, let's do some ending points. Okay. So team I don't know, team Cliff Notes. We'll call them team Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes is 1F, isn't it? I think Cliff Notes is actually just 1F. Also, that line was really long. All right, Team Cliff Notes, number 1. Okay. Play better comps. Again, if you play that like split comp on First Point Junker, I don't have nearly as many problems with you. Okay. Is it still a problem? Yeah, kind of. Because it's such long range that like Hog starts having issues, Sig starts having issues, you still can get rushed down. It's kind of sweet. But you gotta play better comps. That comp is not good. By the way, if you want a split comp that works better than what you were just doing, change out your tanks for a Diva and a Ball. So Diva and a Ball work better than Hog and Sigma because they're self-sustainable. You can't rush down a Diva and a Ball. It's not going to work. So as long as they don't have a Sombra or a May to freeze your Ball when he goes in, you have a Diva kind of babysit your Sniper / your Zenyatta, mostly your Zenyatta, and then you have a Ball kind of disrupt their backline, and now you have Mines, now you have Bomb, now you have more high impact ultimates to do something with. So play better comps is number 1. And if you have questions about comps, you can always DM me, or you can ask in the comments, or whatever you want, right? 2 is overall flanking, flanking or off angling. Don't go too deep. Like, do we know how to do this? Don't go too deep. We're consistently going too deep at the wrong times. So not only is the positioning wrong, but the timing of the position is wrong. So we need to be aware of this and make sure we like try to flank an off angle at effective times and not go so deep that the best we can do is trade our life. Okay? You don't want to trade your life. You want to give your team a numbers advantage. Okay? And I think the third thing is play like a team. Okay? And this is so generic, but I think you know what I'm going to say with this. Play like a team. And I don't mean, oh, you have to, ult together and you have to push together. You have to do a blah, blah, blah. I mean literally just move together. Don't have your off tank 15 feet ahead of everyone else. Don't have your main tank 40 feet ahead of everyone else. Don't have the fight started on one part of the map and someone's coming back from spawn from another. Don't have don't have 4 fights going on at the same time because you guys can't figure out what your target focus is. Right? Play like a team. Now, most of you, like, if you're smart, you're like, okay, coach, these are all great points, but like, how do we actually do this? I'm going to tell you how to do it. Okay. 1, play a rushdown comp. Okay. No, you do not have to play a rushdown comp, but for this specific drill, play a rushdown comp. Okay. And I'm going to give you the rushdown comp. You're going to play Rhine. Okay. You're going to play Diva or Zarya. I don't care which. I really don't. Diva or Zarya. Okay. You're going to play a Reaper. I don't care what this other, it's not NA, but I don't care what this other DPS is. You're going to play Moira, and you're going to play Lucio. Okay? This can be Sombra, this can be Tracer, this can be I really echo Genji, Widow, Hanzo. I don't care what this one is. Okay? Whatever is a comfort pick for you guys, play it. Okay? You're going to play this. Now, the rule for this composition is everyone except for this guy, this question mark guy, is going to stay within 5 feet of each other at all times. Yes, at all times. Is this intrinsically correct? No, it's not intrinsically correct. Your Reaper needs to go on flanks. Your Diva can go pick up things. Whatever. Your Lucio can do some interesting things. Whatever. Right? Is it always intrinsically correct? No. But you guys need to figure out how to play together. So the way you're going to figure out how to play together is actually playing literally together. So play a rushdown composition, this in some capacity, and everyone except for this dude is going to literally stay within 5 feet of each other at all times. They have EMP, I don't care. They have Grav, I don't care. Stay with each other stay next to each other within 5 feet of each other, literally at all times. Okay? The target focus is going to immediately improve. The survivability is going to immediately improve, and you're going to have to call things or else you're not going to be able to stay together. And you're gonna watch. If you have a coach in third person, coach, or if you have any spectator in third person, right? Every moment that you see someone that's not this dude, that's more than like half a second away from being literally in the middle of the team, call them out during the game. Go, Lucio, what are you doing? You're a good 15 feet away from your team. You know, Moyer, what are you doing? You just faded into their backline. Reaper, I know you're technically a flanker, not for this drill. You do this first. You learn how to play like a team first. Then you can start spreading out and doing some things. But you learn how to play a team first, especially your tanks. Your tanks have got to be hugging each other. They love each other. They're beautiful. It's a great couple. They got to love each other. Stay together. Okay? Don't split. Stay together at all times. Okay? This is your drill for learning how to play together, for learning how to plan together, for learning how to do everything together. Better compositions, the whole 9 yards. This is your drill. And do at least a map or two of this, and then you can let your Reaper start doing flanks. But the Moira, the healers and the tanks stay together still for at least 3-4 maps. The very last map. Okay, now let's see if we can make some plays. Now let's see if D.Va can go DM Reaper on an off angle because he's going to ult 2 people. Now let's see if Lucio can go on a rollout and boot people into bad positions. Now let's see if Ryan can get a good like medium to short range charge off. Now let's see if this guy can play with the team and without the team at all times. So you do have one guy that can play without a team, right? Tracer, Sombra, whatever. He goes on off angles so that there's some amount of scouting, there's some amount of movement. You're not just a death ball, right? So this is what you're gonna do as a team, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I wasn't too harsh on you guys. I wish you guys all the luck in the world, and if you have any questions, DM me or leave a comment. Hopefully this helps a lot. I really wasn't intending this to be a 42-minute video, but it is. So hopefully that's really helpful. Again, let me know. If you like this content, I've never said this in a video before because I feel like it's really cliche, but if you like this content, like, comment, subscribe, or comment, like, subscribe. What's the order? I don't even know. Whatever. If you like this content, let me know in some way by liking the video, subscribing, whatever else, right? I'm going to put more content out more frequently. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Soaring Crows, for the content. Appreciate it. And hopefully this helps, you know. See you guys later.